Well, hey everybody, Dylan here, and welcome to the day late week one review of January. This will be the 1st through the 7th. I have a lot of prelude to say real quick. So, originally, my idea was starting at the beginning of the year because daily news takes way too much work out of me, and if I want to do, like SmackDown, Raw, etc., reviews in the future, daily news is definitely not the thing I can do right now. Maybe later on in the future it'll be daily, but right now it's got to be weekly, that's for sure. So, fast track that. I've stalled a lot of weeks, so I figured since it's the end of January, this would be a good time to tell you all that I'm going to every Sunday, knock on wood, that starting every Sunday, I will have weekly news like this. The week will cover the previous Monday through that week's Sunday. So, with that being said, my original idea was like, hey, we're going to do 1 through 7 yesterday, 8 through 14 today, 15 through 21 the next day, and then the end of the month on Sundays. With that being said, due to some news reports coming out yesterday that just made me hate wrestling for a second, I did not feel comfortable even talking about wrestling yesterday or even uploading gameplay like I planned on doing. So, with that being said, enough stalling. I'm going to have 2 of these today. Let's start with week 1. Disclaimer off the bat also. I got to do this for every one of them. Whenever I do this in the future, I will use several different sites, not just one site. But due to the fact I had to come up with 30 days and basically 14 days, I basically just trusted one site. You can find most of these articles on whatever site you wish to use, but everything I talk about will be linked in the description below if you wish to view it. Also, I'm verbatim still in Cage Side's rumor roundup anytime I do it. I'm not taking credit for it by any means. They go through all the hard work to do it. So if you want to see their verbatim rumor roundup, that link will also be down there. Anyway, enough. I think I got everything out of the way I'd like to say. So enough of that. Let's get into the news. So this will be for January 1st. Dragon Lee will miss NXT New Year's Evil, but promises big surprise. Sad news to kick... this is a quote from his Twitter, by the way. Sad news to kick off the year, but due to visa issues, I'm unable to leave Mexico right now. And he says that he will miss NXT New Year's Evil, but the LWO has a big surprise for the NQCC and NXT universe tomorrow night. Is Dragon Lee part of the LWO? I didn't know that. But then again, to be fair, I've missed a lot of wrestling. So, I got a lot of catching up to do. Bad Bunny does some intergender wrestling in new video. In the new video for his song, No Me Quiero Cesar? In other words, I do not want to get married. Let's speak the language you know, Dylan. Off last fall's Nobody Knows What Will Happen Tomorrow, translated from Spanish, we get to see a few of Bunny's moves, namely something that resembles a spear, a powerbomb, and a splash. Delivered to, quote-unquote, scantily clad young women, he has a pillow fight after being transported away from another young woman he's proposed to. I found it interesting he did some wrestling in that. That's the only reason why I brought that up. So that's the only things I could really find on January 1st. So we're going to get into the rumor roundup. Asterisk, it's all rumors. Most of this will probably be outdated considering as of voicing this, it is the 26th. So if I know something's outdated, I'll comment on it. If not, here you go. Alright. And keep in mind, everything is a rumor. Rumors mean that nothing's been confirmed, so it could just be speculation. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said he was told Mercedes Moné and WWE were, quote, far apart on money, end quote, in their negotiations for a return. He also said there are still a lot of talks of her going to AEW. According to the Observer, Samoa Joe was always planned to win the World Championship at World's End, and the title change wasn't a result of MJF's injuries. By the way, MJF is injured, but that's December's news, so I can't report on that. Speaking of that match, they also said Adam Cole isn't expected to be ready to wrestle again by March's Revolution pay-per-view. He could be, but it's not the expectation. The Wrestling Observer newsletter indicates WWE has, quote, expressed interest in working with Stardom, end quote. They make clear, however, that, quote, nothing is finalized, end quote. Even though AEW expanded its pay-per-view schedule the second half of 2023, the Observer indicates that Tony Khan is not planning to add a new pay-per-view to schedule before Revolution on March 3rd. So they're building up to Revolution right now, basically. The Wrestling Observer News says that Dana Macy was offered a new deal by AEW, but she, quote, informed the company in October that she was leaving, end quote. I'm not sure who that is. My apologies for not searching into that. The former ECW star Chris Shetty was spotted backstage at AEW World's End, according to PW Insider. Yeah, I should do follow-ups on some of these names, because I read them, I'm like, who are you? But hey, I knew Chris Shetty at least. Alright, now we're into day 2 out of 7. The first day kind of wasn't that impactful, a couple things here and there, but nothing really hitting you. And then you wake up to MJF removed from roster page, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Then you read into it, and you're like, okay, so here, let me read into it. MJF was removed from the roster page midnight, January 1st. He's not expected to be actually out of the promotion, though, and Mike Johnson of PW Insider has reported, no one we've spoken with in the company believes he's actually gone, and this is just storyline playing off his War of 24 stuff that he's referenced forever. End quote. And the belief is that he's already re-signed with AEW as far back as 2022. Most in the promotion also believe that he's re-signed over a year ago. And it's been expected that he was going to take time off after he dropped the world title because he's been dealing with a torn labrum since November. Full Gear specifically. This one's sad. Kota Ibushi... honey, you're on the keyboard. Hold on. Sorry. Kota Ibushi taken to the hospital following first singles match in Japan since 2021. My cat's just breaking stuff. Hold on. I'm not even going to try it. I'm going to say Hoshi, HOCHI.news, has reported, however, that Ibushi's complained of severe pain following the match, and he was transported to a local hospital due to injuries to both ankles, and it was noted that Ibushi was injured early stages of the match, apparently. And at the time of that article coming out, the full extent of his injuries were not known. Kevin Dunn officially gone from WWE, yet this one was one that hit me. I was like, whoa. I was expecting this, but whoa, that's a shocker to actually hear. Dunn's departure from WWE has since been confirmed, with WWE President Nick Khan sending the following email at 5 a.m. on New Year's Day. Quote, it's a long one, ready? After 40-plus years of helping to build WWE and, hands down, the best production and media unit in the entire sports and entertainment business, Kevin Dunn will be leaving our company as of today. Before WrestleMania 1, Kevin joined Vince at WWF. Many of us remember a pre-WrestleMania WWF, a regional wrestling company that looked like a regional wrestling company. That was kind of redundant. Then we experienced WrestleMania 1. I'm watching that right now, and is that a thing to brag about? Anyway, whether live or on closed circuit or years later elsewhere, it was magic. A regional wrestling company had become a global sports entertainment juggernaut. Vince led the way side by side with Kevin Dunn. With many of us or kids standing in line waiting to play Pac-Man, Kevin was already on the road breaking his neck to help build our company. When you see... oh, God, this is a lot of ass-kissing. When you see our product now, there's nothing that comes close to it, look or feel. 52 weeks a year, 3 to 4 times a week. It is singular and truly spectacular. No other company can or will do that. And that is because of Kevin and our media team that works hard. Our media team's hard work, smarts, and determination. We are forever grateful to Kevin. He will always be a part of the WWE family. It continues. Paul and I will have an in-ring person meeting with the media team at Raw in San Diego at 12 PT and with our superstars at 12:30 PT. We look forward to seeing many of you there. We look forward to crushing 2024 together with all of you. So there's been a lot of, up to this point, there was a lot of like, oh, Mercedes Moné will or will not sign with WWE. Sorry, I had a weird accent come on out of nowhere. But anyway, back to the article. Even now, as of recording, it is the night before the Royal Rumble, and it's more than less confirmed she won't be, but I think that's just to throw people off. I know how these companies work. Anyway, this is one of the articles of like, oh, she's going to this, oh, she's going to that. Mercedes Moné expected to sign with AEW after WWE talks break down. According to Fightful Select, Mercedes Moné has continued to hold talks with All Elite Wrestling, and the expectation is she will join AEW. There is no confirmation if she has signed on the dotted line yet, but AEW talents in the past have not put pen to paper on their physical contracts until the day of their scheduled appearances. One source told Fightful that AEW and Moné were close to terms, but, quote, it's never official until it's official, end quote. Moné is believed to have been looking for one of the biggest contracts in women history, and you go for it, girl. You broke your neck. You've literally broken your body for this for this business. Freaking get paid. Get paid. All right, so we're going into the rumors for January 2nd. Regarding who might replace Kevin Dunn as the executive producer of WWE television, the Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer was told not to presume anything. Some in the company think Triple H want Mike Mansory back, but Meltzer believes Mansory signed to a long-term deal with AEW. According to David Bixenspan, God, come up with better last name. Sorry. It was expected that once Triple H was in charge of WWE, Michael Cole would, quote, replace Dunn as head of television / executive producer, end quote, with someone else taking on Dunn's role as, quote, the line producer of the shows, end quote. At one point, Mansory was taped for the latter job, but Bixapan doesn't know who's line for it now. As Nick Khan mentioned in his leaked internal email about Dunn's departure, he and Triple H held a talent meeting before last night's Raw. PW Insider heard it was a, quote, short, positive, quote, one. TNT has the AEW Battle of the Belts IX, that's 9, on schedule for January 13th at 10 p.m. Eastern, immediately following Collision, which, by the way, they did that. I don't know the results to that because I have not kept up with AEW in quite some time. Raquel Rodriguez shares diagnosis that has sidelined her for the past month. She posted a video on her Instagram on January 1st. She explained why she's been out. She was recently diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome, or MCAS. In the video, she says, quote, so long story short, last year I posted a video about being a WWE superstar with eczema. In the month of December, it got progressively worse, and I've been diagnosed with something called MCAS. She actually says what it is, but yeah. Basically, I was red, swollen. There was a lot happening in the area physically. Gestures to her head and face. It kept me from doing things that I loved, like traveling, going to the gym, and wrestling. I also didn't want to be on camera. I didn't want to look in the mirror. I understand that both of these things can mess with somebody both emotionally and mentally, but thank God I moved back to Texas when I did, because I have the best support system in the world during this time, which is my family. That's good. Sorry, just live reading this right now. I'm so grateful for them and everything they've done for me, and you guys as well, who have sent me kind messages to remind me that I didn't have to go through this alone. You know what? You go, girl. Eczema sucks. Freaking tackle this shit and come back. Alright, January 3rd. Adam Copeland updates his retirement timeline. In a new interview with Sam Roberts, Copeland has set a timeline on his frame. What? Has settled on a time frame. I can't read. Quote, I can do this for a limited time because it's all limited. Even though it's been 4 or 5 years back now, it's not like I got another 4 or 5 in front of me. I know I don't. We're looking at a 2-year window here to be able to get as much done as I can get done, tell as many stories as I can, and try to help talent along the way with that. And I need to be there more to do that. And I want to be there more to do that because even still, it's not like the schedule was back when I was writing 220 or 250 days a year. At most, it's 2 times a week, and it's very doable to still be the dad I need to be the partner I still need to be. I still have the time and the energy to do that because it's not as consuming as it was. I don't let it be as all-consuming as it used to be either, but by the schedule, it just becomes less consuming. I want to be able to do as much as I could while I could and feel like that place I was going to be able to be allowed to do that. That's when it really, I was like, that's where I got to go. So basically, out of that, he's got 2 more years left. So 2026, give or take, should be his retirement. The Rock helped Raw do big numbers. Per WrestleNomics, Monday's episode... Oh, this was when he came back. Gosh, we're that far behind. All right. Anyway, Monday's episode averaged 1.751 million viewers per hour from 8 to 11. With 18 to 49-year-olds, it had a .60 rating. These are the best numbers Raw's done since Punk's post-Survivor Series returned to the show. Alright, we're in day 4. Rush is out of action after working most of the Continental Classic. Oh, sorry, Rush, not Rush. I was thinking Courtney Rush. Anyway, with a torn hamstring. Rush posted the following note on social media a short while ago, indicating that he'll be out of action to recover after wrestling most of the Continental Classic tournament with a torn hamstring. Quote, in the #AEW Continental Classic, I tore my hamstring in the second match I had. I will recover and return ready and hungrier than ever for a fight. I have not watched the Continental Classic, but that sucks that he got injured. I hope he's all good. And I hope he recovers healthily and returns as soon as possible. AEW ratings go down, unfortunately. Per WrestleNomics, you're going to hear that a lot. Dynamite netted 801,000 viewers and a .26 rating with 18 to 49-year-old demographic. These numbers are down from last week's 843,000 and .31 respectively, and the demo's rating only a tick above what NXT drew this week for New Year's Evil. Matt Riddle doesn't want to be a goofball on TV. During an interview with Fox Sports, Riddle said that now that his WWE run's over, he wants to get away from the goofball character we've seen on TV. Quote, the last couple of months, they've been good. I feel like the last probably 10 years I've been wrestling pretty hard in the sense, like on the indies before I went to the E. I was pretty busy traveling with Europe and wrestling everywhere. And then, of course, with the E, I was traveling everywhere. So the last 3 months, I kind of just had my first vacation in a really long time. I had a kid, a little son, Matthew. So it was really getting ready and kind of like a reset button. Last couple of months, I totally just didn't want to do anything other than work out, relax, and take care of my family. And now that it's the new year and I got that time and everything else like that, I think it's just time to cook again and just really be focusing on what I always wanted to do in the ring. I feel like before I was more of a ... It's always entertainment before, but it was a lot of entertaining before. And now I think the direction I'm going to be able to show the world what I can do in the ring, just present that version of myself rather than the goofball on TV. You ever heard somebody say something for 10 minutes that could have been summed up in one statement? Welcome to this review. Charlotte Flair says she is, quote, truly scared after undergoing major knee surgery. She tore her ACL, MCL, and meniscus with a match with Asuka on the December 8th episode of SmackDown. The injury is expected to keep her out until October 2024, and that sucks. She's going to miss her WrestleMania match against Jade. God, everybody's getting injured before Mania. Come on. A short while ago, Flair posted the following message on social media explaining what's on her mind. Quote, family, friends, and fans. Thank you for all the positive, beautiful messages and flowers. I feel supported every way. It's taken me a few days and many, many tears to wrap my head around everything. I happen to be an expert in overthinking, and this is the first time I've ever truly been scared. Scared of the unknown, but also feeling like I'm losing what I'm most proud of, and that's being an athlete. I don't like showing physical weakness, and this has left me feeling exposed. A process I know will grow from, but a very new one to me. This was a huge blow to me mentally and obviously physically going into 2024. 2023 was a roller coaster. I'm trying to stay positive, and maybe this was the only way to stop, refocus, and rebuild, and eventually conquer again. I can't thank this year's SmackDown locker room enough. I enjoyed every second and will be rooting from the sidelines. I have been a bad guy for most of my career. This year was different for me. I cherished every hug, high five, and fist bump this year at live events, and for the first time in my career, I felt comfortable in my own boots being the good guy. I learned so much as a performer and plan on starting right where I left off. I promise I'm going to work 24/7 over the next 9 months to come back as the best version of the Queen that you've ever seen. Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, but as the obstacle which has overcome while trying to succeed. That was a quote on its own. Climbing my own mountain will be the greatest test yet. Thank you for all the love. Heart emoji. Here's to 2024. Love, Ashley, aka Charlotte. That fucking sucks. Like, listen, obviously I'm going to be a Flair mark no matter what, but God, that just sucks. This was a good year for Charlotte, and she had a lot of promising historic things coming up, and then just for it all to be taken away like that blows. At least we got a good story for next year's Mania between her and Jade if they have to push it off till then. Here's the rumors for January 4th. WWE sources told PW Insider that there's, quote, absolutely nothing to internet rumors that Triple H's big announcement on Peacock later on today will be a working agreement between WWE and TNA. That was crazy. I remember when that was a theory for a while. That was wild. While discussing the Roman Reigns program, The Rock teased on Raw. Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer said the reason Reigns started calling himself, quote, the head of the table and, quote, the tribal chief in the first place was to build to a planned 38 match with Rock, which, here we are at WrestleMania 40, 2 years too late. Per Meltzer, Rock turned down doing it at that year's show in Dallas to face Reigns, and at last year's Mania in LA, then had to cancel those. Oh, sorry. He turned it down there so that way they could push it off to last year's Mania at LA, and then had to cancel those plans in December of 2022. Meltzer now thinks the match will happen at 40, but hasn't confirmed that. Cody's never going to get to finish his story. It's like I've said since the beginning. This is a 9-year story, man. We got plenty of time. Just let it happen. The Rock segment on Raw, quote, went about 7 minutes over according to Fightful Select. But it's The Rock. You ain't going to tell him that. WWE is releasing new merchandise and collectibles this month to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Hulkamania. Oh, gosh. By the way, according to their lore, it's recognized as starting when Hulk beat Sheik to win his first title at MSG on January 23rd, 84. Which I think is the... No, that's not the first Mania. Because I'm watching the first Mania right now. But it has to be the first Mania. When was that? I don't know. Anyway, also, per WrestleVotes... they add that, quote, an appearance by Hogan is not out of the question, but also not planned as of now. Camille is someone in the House of Wrestling's sources say WWE is super high on. Okay, WWE is super high on Camille. I don't know why they didn't just word it like that. PW Insider was also told that the long-reigning NWA Women's Champion is 100% on their radar, with talks the last month indicating that she'd be assigned to NXT if signed. That's cool. Oh, God. I forgot about this. Regarding Patrick Clark's apology video from earlier this week, Insider heard the former Velveteen Dream has been addressing, quote, his personal issues since his 2022 arrest and is, quote, working towards making amends to a lot of people in his life. If he's genuine about it, that's great. I hope he can find peace in his world. Sean Ross Sapp tweeted that Clark is looking to do interviews about the video and is said to, quote, is said to be, quote, willing to answer any questions and isn't expecting softball questions. Here's the rumors for January 5th. That's right, we still got one more day. I'll get on to that in a second. Here's the rumors. Even though it looks like The Rock's coming back to WWE to work a match against Reigns, BWE says WWE's plan for Cody is, quote, still going. What if their plan for Cody isn't for him to actually have a Mania match against against Reigns? It's just straight up, like, the plan is for him to swerve it somehow because somebody's going to interrupt it. I'm telling you, 9 more years, man. He's going to take the title. What year are we at? 2024. So we've had it 4. He's going to take the title in 5 more years. We're halfway there. This has played into speculation that The Rock versus Reigns might actually be planned for February's Elimination Chamber event in Australia, with Cody then challenging Roman at 40. Haha, nada. Wrestling Observer Live's Brian Alvarez strongly pushed back on that rumor, saying The Rock, quote, ain't doing Australia, he's doing Mania, end quote. Alvarez also mentioned that, quote, a lot of people in WWE are happy that Kevin Dunn is gone from the company, just like a lot of people were happy when Vince lost power. I just remembered, it's a side note real quick, that I have to do a report on the news that just recently broke, and I'm not here for that. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about it in detail. Anyway, Sean Ross Sapp reiterated that Mercedes Moné is, quote, expected to go to AEW unless something drastic changes. Everybody's getting worked. She's going to show up at the Rumble. I hope I'm not wrong because then I'm going to look like a mark-ass hoe. PW Insider knows that Chris Jericho was backstage at Dynamite this week, though he did not appear on TV. Oh, also, Matt Riddle issued a challenge to Hiroshi Tanahashi in his New Japan debut. CM Punk talks about his return, and also about leaking information to the press. He appeared on WWE's Preview Special 2024, where he spoke more in depth about his return to the company. Here's some quotes from him. He talked about other things as well. Here we go. Quote, so I was trying to drive to Allstate Arena and let everybody that deserved to know that that was in my orbit know what was about to happen. So I'm texting my sisters because nobody knew. That's how you get things done in this business. You keep things close to the vest, you don't leak stuff. That's where the magic happens. I walked out in front of my hometown. I couldn't hear the song anymore. I didn't know my cues. And New Japan books a match they haven't done in 20 years to send off Will Ospreay. It's a cage match against Dave Finlay. That's sick. TNA relaunches streaming service. TNA's officially back for the new year, baby. That was my ad-lib of that. But they're going to, on January 5th, so it's already happened, relaunch their streaming service powered by Endeavor Streaming. That's interesting, by the way, but I don't think there's any relation to TKO in that, minus that. Here's what they announced on Twitter, quote, experience TNA wrestling like never before with TNA Plus. Sorry, I'm just imagining the TNA, voiceover guy saying this. Anyway, relive the moments that inspired a generation, plus monthly premium live events, plus exclusive monthly content. TNA Plus, you haven't seen anything until you've seen everything. The special attraction monthly plan offers access to the full content library, digital first content, and exclusive live specials for the price of $9.99. New episodes of the Impact Weekly television program will be available on demand Thursdays at 10 p.m. New pay-per-views are available 30 days later. The special attraction annual plan has the same perks for a value of $95.99. Hold on. Special attraction annual plan has the same perks. What? Why? I don't understand. Maybe you get them early then? Okay. I'll have to look into that one day. There's also the World Championship annual package, which includes the previously mentioned access points as well as live pay-per-views for $219.99. That better not be monthly. TNA plans to have 4 pay-per-views and 8 live specials. If you just want the upcoming pay-per-view shows, TNA Plus offers them separate for $39.99. The first pay-per-view will be Hard to Kill on January 13th. That's already happened. A lot of things happened on it. Some of them I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to try to stick to my rule where I don't spoil too much, despite the fact I just spoiled. I forgot something that happened in New Japan. Anyway, let's get into day 6, which is funny enough the last day this week. I know I said it'll be the first week, aka 1 through 7. But for some reason, I didn't find anything on day 7 that happened. I'm sure things happened. Because, just another disclaimer, this won't have everything definitively because so much news gets reported on. And sometimes there's topics I just don't talk about. So if you want to check those links in the description, you can find some of those. But yeah, anyway, last day of this week will be day 6 because I couldn't find anything for day 7. Kota Ibushi apologized for recent match, said he's headed to surgery. So I just talked about that match, and then he posted a message on X apologizing to fans for it. Quote, I was scammed by a place called C5 Clinic, which is a nationwide clinic that I mumbled about before. Please be careful, everyone. I think Noah will release information about my surgery, fracture, dislocation, etc. Sorry for the match, everyone. It's all my fault. Gosh, I hope he's doing okay mentally. He sounds like he's taking a lot of pressure on himself. But then, hold on a second. He sent another message out later. I don't remember when. Sorry for the delay in getting back to you. I'm sure Noah will report back more details. Wanted to let you know that the inside of my left ankle has been pretty messed up, and I will be having surgery on the right ligament. I will have a release for you soon. I am really, really sorry. I've been working on my goal of 20 years. I think it's time for me to be active. I still have a lot of contracts to fulfill, but I want to do it. I try not to think too much about the future, but I have a lot of things to do, like taking care of my mother. So when time comes, I'll tell you about it. God, I hope he's doing okay mentally. Poor guy. Like, I know I've said some things, but honestly, I just hope everybody's okay. No matter what you've done, I hope you're okay mentally. Kurt, this was a bad day, by the way, so I had to throw something positive in. There's a video linked in the description below, but Kurt Angle sends encouragement to Stokely Hathaway, who is trying so hard to get Tony and... No, not Tony, sorry. Chris Statlander and Willow on his side. You gotta give Stokely a chance. Come on. Gosh, going back to the sad stuff, felony charge against Liv Morgan dropped. Just in case you don't know, was arrested on December 14th after she was pulled over by a Sumter County, Florida sheriff's deputy, according to this article, who observed her vehicle crossed over the yellow and white lines on the roadway, quote, several times. The deputy searched her Jeep afterwards, smelled the odor of marijuana, and found a vape pen and a small plastic bag containing marijuana. She was charged with possession of a synthetic cannabinoid, that's a weird word, and possession of marijuana, 20 grams or less. Court records now reveal that she is no longer facing the felony charge of synthetic cannabinoid possession. The misdemeanor possession of marijuana, 20 grams or less charge remains. That sucks. Prosecutors in Sumter County explained the decision to drop the charge to the national desk, saying that there are no labs in Florida that can prove the substance found in Morgan's vehicle was derived from synthetic as opposed to plant sources. The proof is a requirement for the state to prove felony charges. According to the arrest report, Morgan admitted the bag of marijuana was hers, but said the vape pen containing the I can't read today, I apologize, especially with something as serious as this. Anyway, she admitted that the bag of marijuana was hers, said the vape pen contained the allegedly synthetic substance was not, saying she, quote, transports a lot of people in her vehicle. Her attorney, Jack A. Goldberger, told the Messenger, quote, we are extremely pleased that the state attorney's office made the correct decision not to pursue felony charges against Gianna. The former champion still faces a misdemeanor charge. She has a status conference scheduled with the court on February 20th. I'm hoping the best for her. God, that sucks. I'm sorry to end this on such a down note, by the way. Hi everybody, Editing Dylan here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below, maybe. Subscribe if you enjoy this type of thing. I will be back tomorrow with day number 2. I don't know if I kept it in or not. I've edited this video 80 billion times. Long story short, I'm behind today because of the whole Vince McMahon stuff. I was going to upload this yesterday, but I read that and I was like, you know what? I really don't feel like wrestling today. So, since I've put myself behind, this will be uploaded today, obviously. Day 2 will be uploaded tomorrow, and so will SmackDown. SmackDown will be uploaded tomorrow as well. And then Sunday, instead of number 4, number 3 will be uploaded, and then Monday, number 4 will be uploaded. And then going from this week onward, every Sunday, I will do like a rundown of the weekly news that I find. Again, if you want to read any of these articles, they will be linked in the description below. Literally verbatim, I took their title and just put it here. So if you want to read them, there you go. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for SmackDown review or for week 2. Bye, bye, bye!